In my last video, I introduced a technical agent built with Logic Apps designed to generate a tailored project plan and schedule for my intern based on the product I want them to build for my stealth startup, Tabby, a cat matching app. I'm going to walk you through how I use Logic Apps agent loop to create it. The first thing we should do is create an LLM model endpoint on Azure AI Foundry. If you're not sure how to, check out my video on deploying a model with Azure Foundry. I'm going to be using the GPT-4o model endpoint that I've already created. Then I'm going to create a Logic app. Click on Add, select Workflow Service Plan under Standard. Now let's select a subscription and a resource group. Feel free to create a new resource group if you want. I'm going to type in Miss Paws LA as my Logic app name. I'm going to select a region close to me. And let's keep all the defaults. I'm going to go ahead and press Review and Create. As you can see, I'm on the Logic Apps page. This is Miss Paws Logic Apps and not Miss Paws LA because what I ended up doing was right after creating that new Logic app, I ended up deleting it because I am running into some subscription limits. So I just want to continue making workflows in the Logic App standard that I already have. Anyway, what we're going to do is create a workflow in Designer. So here you can see the list of workflows that I already have. We're going to create the technical agent today. So I'm going to click on Add. And then I'm going to type in Technical Agent 2 just so that there's a difference in name between this one and the other technical agent that I already have. Then I'm going to choose Autonomous. You could have also chosen Stateful since both are examples of stateful workflows. And then once the designer view loads, we're going to add a trigger. So click on Add a Trigger and we want the HTTP request trigger. So I'm going to type in HTTP request and click on the when an HTTP request is received. Now we'll need to fill in the request body JSON schema so the workflow knows what sort of input it should expect. And we're going to use the sample payload to generate schema. So in our sample payload, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in project topic. And then it honestly doesn't matter what you type in for now because this is just a sample that it's trying to create, but we can put in cat personality match calculator. And then we're going to click done. And you can see that the request body JSON schema got populated. Now, when we click on the plus sign, we're going to add an agent. Now, the first thing you'll have to do is connect your agent to your either Azure OpenAI service or Foundry service. Now, given that this is not my first workflow in this Logic app that has an agent, I've already created a connection. But I'll walk you through the steps of how to do it. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to click Change Connection. And I'm going to add a new connection. I do want the Azure OpenAI model source. The authentication type, URL and key-based authentication works for me. I'm going to select the subscription for my OpenAI resource, and then I'm going to click on the Azure OpenAI resource. So Miss Paws AI Foundry, and as you can see, the API endpoint and key all get populated automatically. Then I'm going to click Create New. Now, once my connection is created, I can choose my deployment model name. I do want to use the GPT-4o, and I'm going to paste in my system instructions. So I'm going to paste in this create a detailed project plan for building a product specified by the user for Tabby. And then I define what Tabby is so the agent knows, and I ask it to include key features and technical components. Now we also need to add in user instructions, so I'm going to type in here is the project. Now if you click here, you can see that there is this Thunderbolt. Click on the Thunderbolt and you can see project topic. And now this is the project topic that we had defined in the previous action. So we're just going to include that there. And we're almost done. There's also advanced parameters, but we're not going to touch them today. You can touch them if you wanted to change the maximum token count, for example, or the agent history reduction type. But anyway, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to rename our agent. So I'm going to type here project plan agent. Okay, so now that's done, we're going to create another agent And the reason why I am breaking this up into 2 agents is because I want to demonstrate prompt chaining. What prompt chaining basically is instead of giving one massive prompt to the LLM, which might confuse the LLM might not respond in detail, it might skip answering some of the questions you might have raised. You instead break up the prompt into different chunks, and that way the LLM gives better responses. So the first step is creating this project plan, but then the second step is creating an intern schedule based on the project plan. And so this new agent, again, add in the deployment model, which is GPT-4o, and we're going to add system instructions. So based on the following project plan for Tabby, so we need to add the project plan that the previous agent gave us. So I'm going to click on FX, and then I'm going to click on dynamic content, and the last assistant message for the project plan agent. And we're going to press add, and then I'm going to paste in the rest of my prompt. And so what I do is I ask it to create a detailed 12-week schedule for a new software development intern. We're going to title it Intern Schedule Agent. And then I can press save. Now that we have pressed save, we're going to run with payload. And we're going to add in a body. So I'm going to add here the project topic and the cat personality match calculator. So this is exactly the type of payload that we expected. Remember, that's what we had set for our HTTP request is received action. And now I'm going to click run. We're going to change to the monitoring view so that we can actually see our results. And you can always press refresh to see the results a little quicker. But it looks like our workflow has completed. So if we scroll a little bit up, we can see that it has the create detailed project plan. This was our system prompt for the project plan agent. And then this was the user message that here's the project cat personality match calculator. And then we have the project plan come up. And then if we scroll higher, we can see what the intern schedule agent came up with based on the project plan. And so it really breaks down into what the intern must do for the 12 weeks. That's pretty much it.